Hey. This is John. I'm on my way to Donegal and I'm after calling into Gort. Gort in South Galway is one of the famine graveyards that we're researching under a Royal Irish Academy grant this summer. And even though this isn't an official, not a full call in, I'm just passing by, but I'm going to call up and just have a look. I'm trying the camera on a different location now. It seems to be more bonnet but we'll give it a go anyway. So Gort is another fine Irish country town. Nice 19th century buildings. I'm going to drive up to full town. I think at the far end of the town is the workhouse from about the 1840s, and then I come back down again and go out the Lochray Road where there's a famine graveyard. And the famine graveyard, it has one of the best preserved trench graves in the country, so it'll be interesting to see that. Hopefully that plan will work out. South Galway limestone, you can see it on the buildings there where it's not plastered and clad. Place is busy out, you can see we're still wearing our masks over here. It's a busy town. Church of Ireland back up on the right, I think. The Gort River. We did an archaeological assessment here 20 odd years ago. Railway line, standard 19th century communications. The sign there for going left is where we're going to go, but I just want to go up here and see. I've looked at the workhouse on the maps, but do you know, I can't picture it. So we'll have a sconce here now. Anything here looks like a workhouse? No. That's not a school. No. I'm a bit lost. I'll come back again some other day and do a proper visit. I thought she was up here. Okay. So looks like a combined county council yard, maybe something HSE going in there. It was back in there in the right, alright. Because that was running, what direction is that? Off to our right, and at the far end of that then is the townland of Laverley, and it's in that they bury the famine dead in these trench graves. So the Royal Irish Academy grant covered Dr. Steve Davis to do the LiDAR analysis. Dr. Paul Nessens from Steve is from UCD Archaeology Department. Paul Nessens is from Western Aerial Surveys, who are the main drone surveyors that we use. And I knew about this site first from Christy Caniff, Dr. Christy Caniff as well, all the doctors. I asked Christy about 3 years ago, Christy, I need to find common graves relating to County Galway, and it was here he sent me. So it's in here now on the left. So I think I can pull in down here and then go in and have a look. Lots of thistles. I'd forgotten she was sloping down. Is there a gate here? Turn here, pull in there, and then we'll run up and see the trench graves. handle on this. There. This. We should be alright. So the drone survey that Paul Nessens did covered this whole field. He did two types of just standard plan. The boundary was around the burial ground was kind of here up out into a bigger field now. But I think this was the burial ground here, and we're seeing mounds of soil. I don't know if you don't know Galway, like this is Galway. Fantastic limestone, but I'd say it would break any farmer's heart. But it's all like, but it produces a lovely grass. Low stones. What's a grave marker and what's a bit of tumble, I don't know. But look at this. Look at this. This is what, when I asked Christy, I said about common graves in County Galway from the 19th century, and I'd been here before. We've done a lot of projects around here, and I would have stayed in Gort a good bit, and I think of an evening I would have come out along this way, and I remember coming out, but I didn't really twig what I was seeing. So what we're seeing is there. How do I do? Pick the colour, Jenny. Okay, there. I'm after walking down into it now. I don't like walking in them because there's people buried in them. But so they would have dug the long trench, and then they would have stacked coffins from one end to the next, and they would have filled it then as they went. So and then when the coffin breaks down and the backfilled trench grave just sinks down then. What's interesting here is that it's actually slightly curved. I wonder, is that stone deliberately there to mark the start of the row, let's say. Like when we record graveyards, we record rows of graves, but they're individual graves, one dug alongside the other, with that bank I was talking about the other day, a bank between them. There's a short one. He's potentially from up there 5, 10, he's about 15 meters long. And this one then, we just walked across that. The thistles are growing in the bottom of the trench grave. So a linear one there, a linear one here, and a linear there. So there's 3, and then there's stones. He's 15, he's twice as long. I think I measured one of these off one of the aerial photographs at about 60 meters long. So these are the obvious ones, and we're comparing these trench graves. Look how steep that the sides of that grave is. We're comparing these obvious ones with what we found in Pulla. So this is the sister site to Pulla. I'm wondering why, is that a grave itself? The one we looked at in West Waterford. Now, it was a workhouse famine burial ground, so 1847 in particular, I'd imagine this could be one of our type sites. But then afterwards, crikey, okay, there's a different feel to this one here now. I'm going to try drawing again. Click him. Click him. Okay. What I learned yesterday was that the perspective is a little bit off, because I'm seeing it from where my head is, not from where the camera is. So somewhere in there, that looks to me like a pit grave. If we go forward, then we're getting something similar. Where are we? Here. Something similar there. And there's a fine entrance over yonder. You can see there's a grave here, and there's a gravestone there. The Festiviata, oh here's one. The Festiviata is there, back beyond. Patrick Rooney, 1936, age 95 years. Lovely. And look at that, that's fantastic. Lovely iron gate. How old is it? I'm not sure. There's your Irish U. This tree came down. What's going on up here? I just want to see, are we potentially getting another trench? Are we? Yeah, it's being used as a rubbish dump. Actually, yeah, it is potentially another trench. So, bit of a ditch there. Is there? And he's going up there. Yep. Okay. So we had 3 over yonder and we've 1 here. Trench graves. Linear trench graves. I need to come up with better terminology than what I've got so far. The fact that they planted the Festiviata Irish U in here is telling. So this was fully a burial ground. I think we saw something similar in Carshill. I haven't gone there yet with the camera, but we will. There's a headstone. The room is 1936. I should have brought my torch. August. You can see the month, but not the year. And then I'm just going to come out this side. I wonder, is it a trench grave or is it an older ditch? It's actually very long. So we were over there and now we come down here. It's all overgrown with sloes. Look at them blackthorns. Is that a ditch, as in a field boundary, or is it a trench grave? She's so long now, I don't know. Well, look, there's a family grave there. The ages of these trees will be important. What are these? Yeah, he's so long. He's hardly a grave, is he? Is he going into the garden? What's this here? Is this a grave? Could we possibly be seeing graves out here? I'm not sure. This fella is full on here. He's still... Did he stop here? Yeah. He's very wide. He's wider than the other ones. So that's an uncertain possible grave I just stepped over. trying to look at shapes and bumps and hollows here. Don't know what I'm doing now. Yeah. No. No. So Doyle, St. Coleman's Terrace, nice little grave. There's a stand of stones there. How do I clear him? That's a way off, that's not burial ground, that's marshy rushes and things. Are we getting anything here? Could this be upcast from there? Okay, so that's new to me now, I hadn't spotted this before. So that's potentially the grave. Got a shin, a deep one. Yeah, I know, I'll be the fellow who thinks everything's a grave. Alright, so where were we? We were in Temple Breedy. And the thing about Temple Breedy in County Cork is that during the famine, particularly in the height of the famine, families actually, people wanted to get buried in their family grave, and that meant getting buried in the old medieval graveyards. And that went on all over the place. And over the last 10 years we've come across plenty of those types of graveyards. Very often I'd go into a graveyard and there'd be lots of little low stone uninscribed grave markers, and local historians would say, oh, they relate to the famine, and I was always dubious about that. I was never sure, but I never really looked into it, whereas now I'm starting to think about it. I think there's certainly a case can be made that some of them can relate to the famine, alright. And Temple Breedy is definitely a contender for that kind of era of use and that style of use. If you were under pressure and you had to bury family members and money was scarce, then you had a family plot and you put up a stone from the field at home. Then that's the model I can see for big areas in Temple Breedy. Marion, one of the ladies who's on the team in Temple Breedy, one of the project managers, she said to me, look John, she says this was the main graveyard for a very big area. There was nowhere else to bury people. So those kind of places. And then if you were institutionalized, if you had gone into the workhouse, then you were buried under the cost and the responsibility and duty of the workhouse, and you were likely then under duress to end up in places like this. And these are the ones we have to keep in mind. I'm just amazed by this one, that's why I want to have a look. Is it, isn't it, I don't know. Is it, isn't it, I don't know. It's very straight. It's got two sides. It's kind of wide to be a single trench. Single coffin. Alright. I'm heading north now again, and I'm going to call into if I'm going okay, I'll call into Tuam because Finn Delaney and a team there, we were working together years ago, did an excavation of workhouse burials in Tuam, and I want to have a look at that. So I'll sign out now and say from a possible new trench grave anyway in Gort. I might come back here Thursday or Friday and make some notes. But otherwise I'll head off and say goodbye. Slán.